Welcome back to another video, my friend. I'm Blake and you're you, and this is Mono Red Goblins in Explorer. So let's start taking a look at this really cool tribal list and see what kind of things we have going on. Starting off, we have a lot of 1-drops. This is a very aggressive deck, so we are running 4 of the Goblin Javelineer. So that is the 1/1 haste, and when someone blocks it, it takes another damage. We are also running 4 of the Fanatical Firebrand, another Goblin at 1/1 with haste, and also the only non-Goblin creature in the deck just because it works so well, and you'll see why in just a moment. Soul-Scar Mage, which is just a classic mono red card. It's got that prowess. It comes down at a 1/2 on at a 1/2 on turn 1. Now this is also a Cavalcade of Calamity deck. So most of our creatures in here are going to have 1 power for the sake of this turning on. And this is an enchantment that says whenever a creature you control with power 1 or less attacks, Cavalcade of Calamity deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker that creature is attacking. So basically, if you have a bunch of 1/1s, you get all of those are guaranteed to be 1 damage plus any damage that they can do in combat. So that works really well with Goblin Instigator. This is just 2 mana to bring in 2 1/1 goblins. Extremely good to turn on that Cavalcade. We're also running the Grotag Bug-Catcher. This is a 1/2 goblin and coming down at 2 mana. It has trample, and it gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each creature in your party. Now the fun thing about this is it sometimes gets up to a 2/2 or a 3/2, and it still triggers Cavalcade because it starts off as a 1/2. So very cool there. Running 2 copies of Flame of Keld. This can refill our hand if we play out everything and then draw some more cards the next turn. And actually, the third part of the saga is also really important for the deck. And it says if a red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player this turn, it deals that much damage +2 to that permanent instead. So it's a Torbran on an enchantment, and yes, Cavalcade is a red permanent, and so it gets to count that, and all of our 1-drop creatures attacking are going to deal 3 damage each. So that gets really insane, is a super nice combo in this deck. Running 4 copies of Cathartic Pyre. Sometimes you just need to be able to get rid of one of those little pesky blockers, and so we can deal that 3 damage. And then also having the backup option of discarding 2 mountains if we're flooding to draw that many cards. Also very good. Now as we go up to the 3-drop slot, it gets a little bit interesting. We are running 3 Wizard's Lightning, and that's because both the Soul-Scar Mage and the one other card I thought was a wizard in here. Well, I suppose I'm wrong. Just the Soul-Scar Mage to turn it on, but I still think that's okay because Wizard's Lightning is just really good. Again, clears out one of those blockers. If we've got a Soul-Scar Mage, it comes down for just 1 mana and is a true lightning bolt. 2 copies of Krenko, the 10th Street Kingpin. This is a 1/2 goblin, and when he attacks, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on him, then create that many 1/1 goblins. So obviously, he's only going to turn on Cavalcade the first time he attacks, but he's going to ramp up to so many goblins. If he gets a couple of attacks in, your opponent is just really in trouble. And then the last couple cards we have here are just end the game kind of cards. So number 1, we have Blow Your House Down. Probably not a card you've ever even heard of. It's really weird and not that good, except in this deck. I think it's actually pretty good. Up to 3 target creatures can't block this turn, and then if any of them happen to be walls, which doesn't happen very often, you destroy them. But just 3 creatures can't block is crazy when you've got 9 goblins on the field. We also are running Ambitious Assault. Similar thought process. We're going to have a wide board of zombies, or of goblins, and they're going to get all +2/+0 until end of turn. And if we have a modified creature, which we probably will not, you get to draw a card. We are running 1 Goblin Trashmaster. All the goblins you control get +1/+1. A little bit of a non-bow with the Cavalcade of Calamity, but sometimes you just need a bunch of 2/2s to finish off that game. And then 1 Torbran for the exact same reason that last part of Flame of Keld is good. If you have Torbran out and Cavalcade, you don't need very many creatures to attack to make it good. For the lands, we're running just 19 mountains and 1 Sokenzan because it can create 2 1/1s that can attack with haste. So those also obviously trigger Cavalcade. So thank you so much for joining me on this deck. Let's rename this here Goblins. If you are watching this channel and you think you enjoy it, what you want to do if you want to help me is share this video with your friend that loves to play mono red or love goblins. Maybe you have a friend that's a commander player, you want to try to get them onto Arena. Well, this is a pretty budget friendly deck, and so if you could hit that share button, I would greatly appreciate it. But if you're not going to do that, that's fine. Stick around and see how this deck does, and then I will see you in the post-game recap where we will talk about anything I would change in the deck and also go over some stats for the deck. Now, let's get into the rest of the video. Okay, first hand here, very good. Starting off with Soul-Scar Mage, turning on that Wizard's Lightning, and then following it up with just about anything. also being on the play here is really good. Now you'll see we are playing in Diamond rank, so you'll know that the results this deck gets are no joke, because we are playing against pretty good opponents with pretty good decks, and it's just going to be some good days on the ladder. So we will see if we can do anything of value here. Now they foretell, which is probably pretty good for us. So I did make a mistake there. I meant to put down the Firebrand first. That is a pretty big mistake. Losing that 1 damage could end up being the match. You know, this deck kind of teeters the edge. Any aggro deck, you're really trying to push stuff out. And so we will see what they have. They don't have white, so that at least is not the destroy all creatures spell, so that's pretty good. Let's see, we've got a 4th land. We could make 2 1/1s, or we could hold up some defense. Let's attack first and see if they have anything to mess with us. They do not, so I'm tempted. I guess we can also do this on their instep. So let's hold off, and if they don't do anything of value, we'll Sokenzan on the end of their turn, or we can also hit something with a lightning bolt if we need to. So let's see what they've got. Okay, let's go ahead and go with the Sokenzan. 6 damage out, and here's a case where if we can draw the Cavalcade, we probably just get to win. Now, unless they have something absolutely crazy, you'll get to see what this deck does, and we just get the win. And there it is, because the Cavalcade would have doubled all that damage, and it would have been awesome. Let's keep rolling with the deck. Okay, once again, turn 1, we've got a Soul-Scar Mage and a 2-drop. That is perfectly keepable. Good luck to you, Weeb Mono. Let's see, I wasn't paying attention to if we're going on the draw or the play here. It looks like we are on the draw since nope, we are on the play against another red deck. Den of the Bugbear. See a Gitu Lava Runner. A little bit scary. I don't know if we'll out-aggro the aggro deck. This will be an interesting matchup for us to see. Is this going to get lightning struck? It sure is. That is okay. We've got our own Cathartic Pyre. We can slap down a Bug-Catcher for this turn, a Bug-Catcher for this turn. Light Up the Stage is a great card that this deck probably should be running. That might be something that we talk about in the end game for card draw, but we'll see how the deck do on the day. That being already a 2/2 is a little annoying. They're going to get some extra damage for that, and Kari Zev is just an absolute beast of a card, so we're going to have to get rid of that. See, another lightning. Okay, now what is our play? We're probably saving Pyre. It's a lot of damage that we don't want to take, so we're probably Pyring. So because we're going to plan to Pyre the Kari Zev, we'll put out this Firebrand and see what happens. I'm not feeling great. Having Ambitious Assault is not very good since they felt fine doing the 1-to-1 trading. Meaning our board is not getting very wide very quickly. Now before they go to combat, we are going to Cathartic Pyre the Kari Zev. Just put you in tricky situations, you know? We'll take this 2. Don't have much of a choice. Can't take another 1-for-1. Can't take an 0-for-1 trade there. This turn, I'm looking at probably just Bug-Catcher and Firebrand. Now, that's pretty brutal. Luckily, they hit 2 mountains, which is actually pretty good for us. We do catch a stroke of luck there. Except that now they've got this Magmatic Channeler, and that's going to be pretty crazy. That might just be too hard for us to beat, to be perfectly honest with you. That might just be too good to beat. Cavalcade might help. If we can get a wide enough board, we might get one crazy big Alpha Strike, but they're going to do a lot of work with this Magmatic Channeler. It's also great card draw. He does at least have to not attack to get the great card draw. So right now we're at 6 damage with Cavalcade, plus another 6. We're at 12 damage if we Cavalcade into Ambitious Assault. We're going to take 6 damage next turn. Plus he has 8 damage on the board with the Ramamap Ruins. So we are probably going to lose. Yeah, this is going to also put in a lot of work. Oh no. Come on now. This happens sometimes. I'll just make a cut and let you know what happens. Okay, it does appear that we are back. Hopefully.
fancy dress means I didn't come.
Chandra is here. What are they going to do with Chandra? Very good card. We're in a tough spot here. Especially... I mean, this pinging 1 to us is actually pretty relevant. Might keep us from attacking with everything that we want to. But we are in range of a big Alpha Strike if they misplay and don't have anything else to do. Because here's what we can do. Next turn we can play Cavalcade. And if we're able to swing with everything, that's 6 damage. And then, the next turn, we're able to swing for another 6 because the Cavalcade's trigger. And then, if that triggers and we get the assault off, that's another 6. So we're looking at 6, 12, 18 total. We might still even be 1 short. It's hard to say. This might change my play, though. We could put Krenko out and hide the Cavalcade. What is the most efficient way to do this? They swing in for 4, 5, 6, and crack a Ruins, and we take 8. So we have to leave up at least 1 blocker. Krenko won't attack this turn. But he can attack next turn. And give us blockers. I think we put out Krenko? Come on. Okay, we did have to take the unfortunate L in that last game because of some weird shenanigans. Krenko stayed on the stack for the whole game, and then it let me cast him again next turn. It was super weird and janky, but basically what happened was we took a whole turn off, and then you can't just take a turn off in a game that's that close. I still think we had about a 30 or 40% chance of winning that game based on what we had in hand, but it's okay. It happens sometimes. We were definitely the underdog, and so, you know, you just got to roll with the punches sometimes. So we're jumping back into another one. Seeing a lot of red today. That feels a little sad, that's for sure. I think to play things out really nicely here, we just go with the straight Cavalcade right away. I think is pretty good. Next turn we can go Krenko. The turn after that we can go Soul-Scar and Flame of Keld. Should be pretty good. We'll play out on curve here. Electrostatic Field is totally fine for us because Krenko can attack into it, make a bunch of goblins, and even if it is not letting 1 piece of damage through, that doesn't even bother us. As long as our creatures aren't dying, especially Krenko, that's going to still feel quite nice. Also, next turn, Soul-Scar Mage into Goblin Instigator plus a Krenko attack. That's going to be a lot of goblins getting ready to come at him with this Cavalcade. So this is going to be pretty fun unless they have a lot of interaction, which it's looking like they're mono-red spells. So they could probably have a bunch of like shocks and stuff. So that could be a little bad. That could be Demon Bolt, I guess, but I don't know why you wouldn't just play it. Okay, if you do have the shock, I guess you don't just play it. So this is probably just mono-red removal. Probably going to be pretty boring to play against. Now let's go Goblin Instigator. And I was tempted to discard that, but you just can't discard a Soul-Scar Mage. That's just too good of a card to get rid of. Next turn we'll play whatever we got, and then probably get to play the Flame of Keld. Unless it's something like a Torbran, we will, of course, go ahead and play that. I'm going to guess this is a Demon Bolt, just based on what they're playing. I don't know what other mono-red Foretell card they could have, unless there's another color they're playing that we just haven't seen. There's obviously Izzet is pretty popular to be a spell-slingery theme, but we'll see. Dual Strike. Okay, I was not expecting that one, but that's probably a pretty good card for their deck. Double Fire Prophecy. Quite nice, quite nice. We do handle removal pretty well, just because we do have things that make more goblins, so there's a lot of targets to hit. But that was a pretty sweet play by them, not gonna lie to you. Now the turn we get the 3rd Saga of the Flame of Keld, we want to make sure we have a bunch of things to trigger this Cavalcade for 3 damage each. So that's gonna feel pretty darn awesome. Okay, yep, we get all those things. All the things are gone. But next turn we get to Flame of Keld, and we have a little better position on board, I would argue. Okay, this is a better play. I'm not going to give up a Krenko. We get to see 1 Cavalcade trigger here. He gets to block with the field, and if he doesn't kill this Krenko, he's in quite a bit of trouble. So he better be hoping that he draws another one of those removal spells, which there is a pretty good chance he does, I feel like, in this matchup. He's probably landing like something like 12 or 14 of these damage to creature spells. Mithril a possibility, meaning he probably does not have the kill spell. He could still have the Frostbite, though, which would be a little sad. I want Krenko to stick around for one turn, create a bunch of goblins. Man! Okay, we're so close. If we could have let that hold off for one more round, it would have been pretty good. And here's the perfect scenario we were waiting for with this Flame of Keld. We get to play out all of our hand and then discard nothing to it, which is absolutely awesome. Next turn, we're going to draw 3 cards, and the turn after that, we're ready for a big Cavalcade turn. So our opponent needs to do something pretty quickly. Another Electrostatic Field, again, I actually think is not a bad card at all for us to see. We're just going to take a little more damage, but then we get to just freely attack with any goblins we can find. Now, we need to draw some goblins here. That is pretty sad that we drew 2 mountains out of that. So Cavalcade is only going to deal 6 damage next turn. Might not be quite enough, but still a pretty good amount of damage. If we can just draw like another Hasty Goblin, that gets to 9, and then that starts to go crazy. So like just either of our 1-drop Hasty Goblins is actually probably about the best thing we could draw this turn. Or a Torbran might just do it also. Okay, another Thrill. What else are they running? I wanted to look at that card. Blitz of the Thunder Raptor. Yeah, just literally another kill spell. That's all they're running. This is Kill Spells Tribal with 4 Electrostatic Field. How wacky. Okay. So we've actually got an interesting choice at this point. And here's why. If we go Cavalcade, we have the +2 damage. So Cavalcade could deal 6 to face. Or, what I think is actually better, is this, if he blocks, becomes kill the Electrostatic Fields. So I think that's the way to go. Even though it's a non-bow with our Cavalcade, they have to either kill the Trash Master to make our stuff smaller next turn, or we get these Electrostatic Fields off the field, which makes me feel like they're not going to have anything else for us to do. So they just take 8, and that feels good. Now we're really doing something. We'll keep 1 card in hand, keep them honest, not let them know what we're up to. And I'm feeling pretty good. If they kill the Trash Master that turns back on Cavalcade, that will actually be pretty bad. Because that's going to make a bunch of 1/1s that block all of our stuff super easily. That's a pretty bad card to see. Yeah, we're in an awkward position here, especially with that shock. They're smart, actually, leaving the Trash Master, probably. That is very, very smart. Wow, very nice, very nice. They probably got the game from us right there. Yeah, there's probably just nothing we can do about that. We'll just send in the house, let them see if they want to make a block. What they want to give us, they just get free blocks, and that's probably the game. They crack back 2, 3, 4. They do have to cast a spell to win. This is where the Trash Master is a little unfortunate, turning off some of our better plays. So maybe he should just be a different card in the deck, probably. Okay. Yeah, Trash Master, quite sad in this situation. They block 2, they take 2, they crack back for 4. I guess we just chill right here for a second, try to get the Trash Master to die, which we can't even do that. Man, they're going to draw so many cards. They've gotten all their card draw spells. How lucky for them. Yep, I think that's going to about do us in, huh? They've got 4 attackers. Well done. Let's get another one. What? What's the matter? You're ready to go out. You know on that? Okay. Okay, going first, an awkward hand without any of our 1-drops, but sometimes it do be like that. I think the play is to play the Cavalcade after you get as many 1/1s on the field as you can. So I think the play here is to lead with Instigator. It's a little annoying, but it's fine, whatever. Next turn we can go Cavalcade and Firebrand. It's probably not terrible. Okay, I don't think that bothers us either. We want our 1/1s to stick around for a minute here. So we are going to go Cavalcade and Firebrand, and then we're going to sit here for a minute. Yeah, Trashmaster I actually don't like in the deck at all. Turning off Cavalcade is too much of a price to pay. I'm going to take this out right after this game. It's just terrible, actually. Terrible card. Man, they got all these 1/1s. This is the worst. Good game. You can have it. Nope. Okay. We're just going to chill and hope for the biggest Cavalcade move you've ever seen. So that's 6 damage with the Cavalcade plus 3, 6, 9. We're at 15 damage right now with Cavalcade plus a big ambitious assault. Not enough. Not enough. But I think I'm ready to make a big swing. We've also got a bunch of lifelink stuff going on. Okay, what do you got for us? Lovely. Love to see it. We're going to hold on to this, actually. Okay. We're probably just losing here. Probably just losing. Let's go ahead and go get our mountains, and I guess we'll see what happens. That is just brutal. Settle the wreckage. Wow. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Okay. We're at least drawing some cards. Guess we got something to go here. It's a good blocker against the little 1/1s. Sure. You do your thing. Okay, they really don't want creatures entering the battlefield to cause things. Good game. Okay, pretty solid hand here. We can go turn 1, turn 2, and then Cavalcade. I think I'm liking that quite a bit. Going up against somebody that's playing some sort of blue here. Professor Walter, good luck to you, sir. Ooh, okay. They're going to have a lot of good blockers for us here, probably. Well, what do we put down first? We can Wizard's Lightning them once we get the Soul-Scar Mage down. I think for now, let's get down a bunch of 1/1s and then just chill for a minute. If he wants to take this trade, I'll take it. He does not. He would trade because this deals 1 extra damage when it gets blocked. Okay. This might be a little tough. We're going up against blue-white flying spirits. Our 1/1s might not cut it. Okay, let's put down the Soul-Scar Mage. Honestly, I don't even think that the Wizard's Lightning is going to do us that much work. Oh, good God. This is game for sure, right? Just curved out and annihilated us. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All the damage is already done. Good game again. Okay, trying to get one more decent game in here. Don't love this opening hand, but let's see what happens against our opponent Declan here. Knight of the Ebon Legion, hello. Would love to get a 1-drop here so I can go 2-drop, 1-drop next turn. That would feel quite good. Okay. Pretty bad because that gets to actually trade. That's good. We're going to go Bug-Catcher and Soul-Scar Mage here. And this is going to be a 2-2. Yeah, so he can attack just fine here. 3-2, even better, because that's a wizard. Lovely. Thanks. Get that chip damage in. Feeling pretty good about that. What's this one? Oof, this could be bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. We're definitely going to hit this with the lightning before we do anything else here. Love it. Now what's the play? 1-2, 1-2, 2-3 is pretty good. I think since all of those have good attacks, we wait. +1, he's going to Death Touch Lifelink until end of turn. Yeah, we'll send 1 over there. See if he wants to block. I think that's pretty good. 4-2 Trample. It's pretty sick. That is sweet. Those are rogues. Man, there's even more good little combos in here. I think we can finish off this sweet little game with the Cavalcade of Calamity next turn. It's going to be awesome. This Bug-Catcher doing more work than I expected because this is a wizard. It counts itself as a warrior, and then this is a rogue. So we get +3. That is awesome. The only thing that will make it bigger is if we added a cleric. But lots of little mini combos with the Bug-Catcher. I'm pleasantly surprised with it. Let's see what they're interested in doing here. Makes sense. Those Bug-Catchers are doing a lot of work. Makes a lot of sense. Cavalcade going to be able to put 4 damage next turn. Plus the Bug-Catcher is going to swing in for a lot. Okay. And he's going to get rid of the other Bug-Catcher probably. Well, that's unfortunate. He did a lot of protecting himself there, so that's really, really sad. No blocks. We're going to deal a little more. Unfortunately, no way to turn that off. Thank you. Good game. We're in a great spot here. We're going to do a lot of damage, and then next turn, Cavalcade damage will hopefully be close enough to deal the win. Yeah, we're going to get 4 for sure, so unless he finds a way to block 4 creatures or do a bunch of killing stuff, we're going to get the dub here. Okay, he is going to get some lifelink, so that is about as smart as he could do. Honestly, he's going to gain 2. He has to attack with it, though. I think we're still going to be able to get the win here. Ooh, gain 5. That was really smart. Very smart of him. Okay, I still think we just have to do attacks. But he can just do the same lifelink thing again. We're only going to deal 4. We're going to deal 8 damage here. He's going to get to block 1 for free. I think we just do this. We're just going for it. We're going to hope that we draw something to close out the game next turn. Okay. I think he probably gets it with a lifelink. That's just too brutal for what we're doing here. Does he have a way to just kill Krenko with this? Yep. So he can kill Krenko, but he has to give us one of these and not do lifelink. So that could be a mistake. I think his best play would just be plus this, on that again, do the +3 thing and gain like 8 life. And then we're in a really tough spot. Really, really tough spot. But we still could win. It depends. I mean, I think that's his best play. He still could do the sacrifice to kill Krenko, which, like I said, I think's a mistake. But we'll see. We'll see. That's gonna, if it gets to attack, it's gonna make us 2. That's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's his best play. That's a smart play. Now we need to draw one of those big finishers, either preferably the +2/+0 to the team. That would be ideal. He does not buff it even more. That seems surprising. He must have something to do here. Must have something else to do. Because right now, if he doesn't do anything else, we have lethal. Right now. Sokenzan could also win us this game. One of our 1-mana hasty boys might be enough. Also, we have a good amount of things we can do here. That's pretty scary. I guess he's going to kill Krenko now? Okay. We get to deal 6? Oh, and he gains the life from that. That's annoying. Very nice. Pretty nice, actually. And of course, we draw the 1 card we don't want. What do we do? I guess we just take out Sorin. Turn off the lifelink. I guess that's the best thing to do. I don't know.
You cannot hurt my hollow soul. These childish games.
We'll hold on to one. Keep him honest. I don't know if I was supposed to kill Sorin earlier, maybe. Maybe that was my mistake. Then he had a second one. Ha! Get wrecked. Very nice. Okay, now we gotta draw something to win us the game right now. Krenko will not do it, but he will be a lovely little blocker. I guess we'll leave back 2 things, Krenko plus 1 thing, just in case he has a kill spell. And I think we're in a kind of good spot now. See what we can do. Good game. We got it. Let's go. Well, thank you guys for joining me. Catch you in the post-game recap. Thank you so much for joining me for this entire match. As you can see, the Goblins deck in just a few matches did not do so hot for us. He ended up 2 and 4 on the day. I think for sure cutting the Trash Master would be the way to go. I think that lost us 2 games. We did have that one weird one that we really lost. So I think overall the deck is probably not the best. It could be fine at the lower ladders. I think if you're going to build around Cavalcade, you should actually just forget the Goblin theme and add like the Spitfire and the Scorching Spitter, if you know what those cards are. But overall, pretty fun deck. I did enjoy it and have a good time. But thank you so much for joining me if you made it all the way here. You can see the win rate here is not very good, so I don't think I can recommend this deck to you unless you just really love Goblins. So, thank you and have a great day, my friend.